Hi, I am Shafali, and today I am back with another channeled message. So, if you are right now in this place where you are trying to find your long term goals, or if you are trying to find what is most important for you, or if you are in this place where there is a lot of options and choices available to you, but you're not being able to find your best option, then this reading is for you. So, if choices, if long term goal, long term aim, your most desirable, meaningful path, if these are the things which are right now taking a lot of space in your mind and in your thinking, then definitely this video might have something for you. So take what resonates, leave the rest. Always employ both of your logic and intuition when you listen to what I have to say. Just by how, just like how I'm talking about these themes, what happened today was that when I was trying to create the message through tarot card, it did not really make any sense. Like, I sat with the cards, I drew a few cards, and I tried different spreads, but it somehow did not feel like I could create something out of the cards. And though I have a lot of thoughts around what is happening right now astrologically for us, or archetypally for us, or what is happening around, because we also have a full moon in Sagittarius coming up in a day. So I felt like, okay, uh, just because I do card readings every time doesn't mean it has to happen in the same way. Even now, and this is something that I was able to decide intuitively and on the bodily basis. Like, my body did not really get very activated or very enthusiastic about reading some cards at that point and creating a channeled message through that. So I think this is where the matter of choices is also getting highlighted, because sometimes we feel like certain things have to be done in a certain way, and it becomes comfortable for us because then we don't have to choose very proactively on a daily basis. So we try a tested method and we stick to it, and then we are like, okay, now we don't have to decide again and again, and this is what we're gonna stick with. However, what happens when you are more inclined to your intuition is that you are able to change or shift your paths according to more of your intuition and instincts. And I'm not saying that intuition and instinct is the only way to go forward, because definitely that part of sticking to one thing is also very important part in life. For example, right now I am trying different kind of methods while making videos, but that is my instinctual and intuitive part. But the fact that I keep on coming back to YouTube to make my videos is where I am also trying to be consistent with one path, which is YouTube, right? So why I am highlighting this matter of choices. Okay, so we are currently gonna experience a full moon in Sagittarius right in the middle of Gemini season. Okay, if many people know, then Gemini is that part of you, or Gemini archetype is that part of you which allows you to be able to look at multiple things in one go. Okay, this is that part of you which will create a lot of contradiction and conflict and indecisiveness in you, because this method is available, this is also available, this is there, and this is also there, this is also right in its own way, that is also right in its own way. So, but this is where all of us can get access to infinite possibilities, because once our mind is flexible and open to different perspective, then we can always see infinite perspectives all around us. We can always see infinite options, infinite ways of doing things, infinite uh infinite things that you can put out in the world. So, but when it comes to thinking, you can be infinite, but when it comes to doing, one has to take a particular path. Yes, one has to, because the body can only do a certain thing in a moment. Even after looking at all the possibilities, the body is capable of doing only a certain thing. That is where Sagittarius comes in. When the moon is coming full in the Gemini season, what it is actually asking of us is that How do you decide what you choose amongst the infinite? How will you make that choice? And Sagittarius tells that I can see what is possible, but I will choose what is meaningful. Yes. So even the Gemini, the essence of Gemini is in being able to make choices which are aligned with deeper inner subjective meanings for a person. Yes. So when the Gemini is Gemini only, then it is just a lot of information, a lot of data, a lot of possibilities, a lot of lenses, a lot of perspectives, a wide scope and range of seeing things. But when it actually combines with its opposite, which is the Sagittarius archetype, and it is basically just like there is this philosophy of yin and yang, everything contains its own opposite. In the same way, Gemini is Gemini because it has a soul of Sagittarius. So what is actually the role of the Gemini archetype in our lives is to help us make choices. And in that way, what we learn through Gemini in combination with Sagittarius is how to make choices which are uniquely meaningful for us. Yes. So one cue here for making this choice is that how do you, if you have two options, how do you find out which one has more weight? Yes. So, and this also tells that nobody's gonna make choices for you. We always tend to try that we create a life in which someone else comes and makes choices for us because it is more easy in that way. But what Gemini tells you is that you might spend a lot of your life making choices which are available to us through other people, through the society, through social conditioning. But when your Gemini becomes more properly integrated with the Sagittarian aspect, what you start doing is that you start making choices which are uniquely personally meaningful for you. So for example, for two different people at the same time, for one person, the more important choice might be that amongst family and career is important. And at the same time, for the another person, the uniquely meaningful choice might be that the family is more important or relationships are more important. Yes. So what this tells us that we live in this world where we would listen to the stories where there are narratives saying family is more important than everything. Then there are stories just saying that career is more important than everything. But what it comes down to when it is about becoming more and more integrated with your Gemini archetype is that how for yourself you decide what is more meaningful for you. Yes. So for example, if I think about myself, I would say that at this particular point of my life, meaningful expression is very important, because if it doesn't happen, then I do not feel like myself. And at the same time, somebody else has something which is more important, and that is completely equally right for them. However, how do I personally come to this choice is by listening to my body, is by listening to my intuition. So when today I picked up the tarot cards, something told me that I am not feeling that these tarot cards are essential for what I have to say today. In fact, I felt that they were kind of pulling my energy down. I didn't feel like using them. And there are other times when I feel so enthusiastic about using them. So what I try to do today is just listen to my intuition and go with my body's flow of energy and where it is coming. Somehow coming naturally in front of the camera and creating a message through this felt something that my body wanted to do more of. Yes. And when we live in this world where everything is scheduled, everything is pre-decided, everything is based on familiarity, survival, accessing this intuition and instinct is exactly what becomes very, very difficult for all of us. Yes. So if you are in this Sagittarius full moon energy right now, if you would possibly, if you are intuitively sensing this Sagittarian full moon energy, then this full moon energy might help you to make choices amongst all the infinite possibilities that are accessible to you. So this full moon might end up facilitating your movement towards choices that are uniquely personally relevant for you, important for you at this point of time in your life. Now, for example, if I talk about me, I personally think that it is right now very important for me to contain my identity in a container. Okay, there was a spiritual time in my life where I was completely spread out in different expressions. But right now I'm in this place where I want to contain my identity into something one and add all of my expression there. Okay. For another person right now, it might be their time of being more expressive in different directions and not sticking to one identity. So this is the meaningful choice that I am right now making for myself, that it is time for me to contract. Whereas for some people right now, it might be the time to expand. What Gemini will help you with is to understand that both expansion and contraction are parts of life. Yes, it will tell you what all is possible, and it is very important to be able to see what all is possible. When we are stuck in our mind, or when we are stuck in a, for example, when we have gone through some trauma, or when we have gone through very rigid social conditioning, what essentially happens is that our possibilities only become very less, because we are taught to live in a box, see the world through a box, and not go beyond it. But what happens when your Gemini archetype actually becomes expansive is when you are able to at least see the possibilities. Yes, in yourself, in the world, in your identity, in other people's identity, you are expanding in that way. That is where your Gemini is getting healed. Yes, or it is actually becoming more and more mature. However, just the world of possibilities is good for the mind, is good for the spirit, but for a body which has form, which has material form, which has to act, expansive infinite possibilities is not the way it can exist. Yes, and that is where Gemini is then given the task of integrating its inner Sagittarius archetype, which is about making a decision on what to stick to based on what is more meaningful, and what is something that, just like the Sagittarian archetype has this arrow which it is throwing in air, along with it is also having half body of horse. So what it is attempting is that, how do I aim for something which is mine? Yes, so that is how I think the Sagittarius full moon might help you to find your choices based on intuition, based on getting a sense of your body energy as to where it is ready to invest more on and where it is ready to invest less on, and what are the things it is just doing out of compulsion, and what are the things it actually feels enthusiastic and optimistic about. Ki, this is what I want to really try and do right now, even if that means that it is removed from what I have been doing till now. Yes, so for me this video is exactly that, because I have been doing all the videos with the use of cards till now, but today I really felt, and my body also told me that, Shivali, go and make a video in one go with your own understanding, and yes, put it out. Yes, so this is where I think these are the choices. I hope that the full moon will also allow you to make those choices. I have one more video which I will be making about the Sagittarian archetype, but I will take it in the next video because we have already reached the limit that I wanted to use for this video. What all can help you right now is to for making choices, is to go with the methods that you feel are good for you, and to completely debunk those methods if you are not feeling engaged with those. Yes, so go for methods that are working for you in the moment, by including engaging your body in that sense. Yes, the entire world keeps on telling us that don't think so much about your body. We actually live in a world which is heavily disembodied. The body is almost always left out. But when it comes to the element of fire, and Sagittarius is fire, you cannot access fire till the time a moving body is involved in its understanding. So to become more, or to embody the archetype of Gemini, is which is the theme of this sun, or which is the theme of this zodiac season right now, Gemini. To embody the archetype of Gemini, one must integrate also the archetype of Sagittarius, which makes the Gemini more Gemini. Yes, because yin is yin because the yang is integrated within it. Otherwise, there is no point of any yin if the yang is not integrated. In fact, if there is absence of yang, then yin also cannot exist because it loses definition. So I hope that this helped you to navigate the archetype of Sagittarius with me today. But there is one more very important theme that I want to take when it comes to Sagittarius, and I'll be taking that up in the next upcoming video. So tune in again or with me soon enough, and also please like, comment, subscribe if you are resonating with the messages that are coming here, or if these messages are helping you in their own way. And thank you so much. All the best. Goodbye and tada. See you again.